Well, Grand Rising, everyone. It's been a while, but after listening to some videos that crossed my path, I decided to make another video and talk about how you can know who to listen to and who not. Because there are so many stories out there, so many ID entities that are trying to convince you of their truth, their stories, their beliefs. And of course, we all go through those periods when we are still looking outside ourselves for answers. But especially now, in the year 2025, there is so much BS out there. And also AI created stories, of course. So what's real, what is not real, who to listen to. Um, well, first of all, listen to the voice. Listen to the frequency behind the voice. If you listen to someone and there is the absence of panic, there is the absence of fear, there is the absence of frustration, etc., you can feel if somebody is talking from within their own source, knowing, unfolding, and talking from their own experiences, their own inner book. And even then, you know, it's just the experience of the other. There's only one book you need to read, and I've talked about that many, many, many times, and that's your own inner book. The only answers that are part of your first cell, your source, your original frequency that is deep within yourself, beyond all the programs, is yours. And therefore you have to read your own inner book, of course. But as long as you are still attached to ID entities, still going through the process of opening up all those programs that contain so many stories that we describe as universes, universal experiences, dimensional experiences, past lives, etc. But in essence, it's just a story, you know, a manipulated story. And if you look behind the story, there is just a manipulated frequency. And if you look behind that manipulated frequency, you find out there is nothing. So, you know, it's our belief, it is our attachment that keeps a story alive, you know. We are the ones who are creating the dream on the outside screen. Yeah. And also, another thing, if you see someone, you're listening to someone, and they are talking about all the universes that are also hijacked and etc. what it is they are talking about. It's just a cell. You know, we are made out of 144,000 cells, and they all have like different layers and manipulated pathways, which I like to call the element layers and the mineral pathways. And we have to rewire ourselves, you know, within a cell that is manipulated, which is programmed, which present itself as a story, which can feel, when you go through it, as very, very real. You know, I've been there. I've been there. I don't deny the stories, you know. I don't deny the spider beings. I don't deny the cabal, the cult, which is part of this game. And we have dreamed into existence because we were manipulated, programmed. I don't deny it. You know, I've been there. I've experienced it. I've experienced the reptilian and the shapeshifter and the spider being and so many different shadow beings with red eyes. And it's when you're going through all those cells, you know, to demagnetize your programs, align them, as it were, to your deepest and first cell, where your original source frequency that is directly connected to, well, the source outside of this dream, let's call it a dream, a game, you override it. You know, that's how powerful we are. But you need to detach from it. So if a story comes to you, just observe it and detach from it. Don't become the ID entity within the story. You know, don't become the angel within the story, or the galactic being within the story, or the demon within the story. You know, we travel through light and through dark, all the way down to the first cell, but it's all the same. You know, they're all stories, and but you know, I'm repeating myself. I talked about it before. So yeah. So if you listen to videos of others, you're still in that process, still not trusting your own story within, which you also have to detach from, you know. So you can sink in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And if somebody is telling you, you need to go through all those galactic universes, which are cells within your system, and you have to keep going, keep going, keep going, go higher, go higher, go higher. Don't listen to that person anymore, because they are still in the process of looking for things outside themselves. So they are fragile. They can be manipulated. And so you don't know who is talking. You know, listen to the voice. When you listen to someone, you're still in need to listen to someone, the story of another. Listen to the voice. Is there fear present in the voice? Is there frustration present in the voice? You know, panic, etc. Then don't listen to it. All is within you. All is within you. If they're showing you books, they're stories from another. Just stories. Someone wrote at some point, and it's part of their program, and or an overlapping program. We have our own individual cells, universes, with voids, but we have to go through, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. But there are also overlapping programs. I've talked about that before. And they create the collective stories. So you also need to detach from that also. And as long as you keep detaching to stories outside yourself, you're fragile, for manipulation, for attacks, because you believe that they can attack you, When I was still in the belief of the cabal, of the shadow beings, etc., and the spider beings and the reptilian, and I met them when I journeyed, you know, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, all the way down to my first cell, where there's nothing more than just an electromagnetic golden spark, you could say. And as soon as you attach and there is a belief, it presents itself on your screen. True believing, and true divide and conquer, through fear, stories, etc. If that gets to you, you're fragile and they can manipulate you. That's the way the game works. It's what you believe is what presents itself. So I was attacked in so many different ways. The sun is coming. The lamp. Yeah. So when I was still believing and fully attached to the Cabal and the cult of the Baal and everything that goes with that, there was fear within me, and I believed they could get to me, and so they did, in so many forms and shapes and events, and I felt attacked constantly. But I was still working through it, and I was still not home in my trust, in my knowing, fully aligned to my first cell. And that's normal. We have to go through those programs. We have to demagnetize those programs. But while you are going through those programs, realize that there are the stories that are part of those programs. In essence, they are nothing. They are only there to make sure they are so beautiful that you attach to them. You become that believer in the galactic realms, etc., and the new earth, and the manipulation from the light. Or the other way, you start believing in the cabal and in the cults, the cannibalism, etc., the spider beings, and the shadow beings, and you attach to them, and it keeps repeating itself. You enter a loop within that program because you have attached to it, you believe it, and you experience it. Therefore, you experience it. I have experienced it for a very long time. But not anymore. There is no interference. The frequencies don't bother me. The little lamp in the sky, I just love it, And if they are busy, doing their clouding thing, and I'm just grateful for all the vitamin C they are providing for free. And I truly believe it. I believe that as soon as I see those stripes in the sky, they're here for me, And I take it in as vitamin C. And everything I eat, everyone I meet, on my outside screen, everything automatically aligns to my original source frequency. And therefore it alchemizes. So I'm in a constant peace now. And peace is beyond love. It's beyond everything. It's once you're fully detached, there's only peace and the now. There is the absence of all the negative emotions. There's only balance. And there is no past and there is no future. There are no stories. There is only this beautiful now moment. And working in the garden and aligning to the beautiful animals, the elements, the water. And you feel great. I haven't had any flu symptoms. None so ever. Nothing. 5, 6, 7, in 8 years now. For 8 years, no flu symptoms. Nothing. The only thing that keeps popping up now and then is my lower back. But I'm 50 years old now, and I also have the program of, how you call it in English, when the bleeding stops. Well, I don't know the English word, but you know what I mean. So it's also part of that. And it was also part of an event that happened in 2021, an attempt on my life. And I worked through that. And that is released now also. That's alchemized now. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing that pops up now and then. Also because it's we all have one, and some of you maybe more, but a weak point within our portal, within our body. And sometimes, when we need to go in, the body asks for it and it gives you a signal. And then you need to go in. So, what to do in these times of chaos and so much misinformation? Go inside yourself, disconnect from the computer, stories of others, books of others, and just go deeper and deeper and do the work. Start trusting yourself. Because we all have an individual, different programming. We all have 144,000 cells. But not all of them are, you could say, overwritten, manipulated by a code that shows itself as a universal experience or a past life experience. A story. But some of us have more, and some of us have less. And then we have the collective, overlapping programs. Those we all have to experience. But it's nothing more than that. It's just an experience. And to release yourself from all those stories out there. And I've told you before, just go sit in nature. Go sit with a tree. Look at the meadow before you, or the water before you, or the sky before you. And just Be there, right now, fully present, just breathing within your peace, outside of time. So if it takes 5 hours or 10 hours or just a half, maybe 30 minutes, it's different for everyone, but just go sit there and just look at your outside screen and realize that it's only there because you believe it is there. But in essence, it's nothing more than a code. And beyond that code, there is nothing. If you look at the rainbow, for me, if I look at the rainbow, I look at the rainbow. I see the colors becoming one color. It's a golden color. Then the golden color disappears into a watery movement, a watery movement. Then I see light movement with like codes within it, and then it pops away. Then there is no rainbow. Others still see the rainbow, but for me the rainbow is gone. Because from my source knowing, from the space where I am, fully detached, through my own experience, through reading my own inner book, and not the book of another, no, my own inner book, I know that in essence everything is nothing, and it's only there because the ones with the golden electromagnetic original source spark are the fuel to keep this dream game going. So yeah, but if you haven't experienced that yourself, I understand it's hard to believe that everything here is in essence nothing, you know. But there can be peace within this game. You know, do the work, detach yourself, and stop listening to others. Stop reading books of others. Stop looking for answers outside yourself. Start reading your own inner book. And I'm not denying that it's all out there. You know, we've all dreamed it into this game. So it's a game of dark and light, you know, and we have to get into the center within every cell that has been overwritten, that has been manipulated, that has been activated through trauma. So we have to do that work, of course, but be fully aware that it's nothing in essence. So once you truly start believing that, everything becomes calm while you are working through the things you are working through. Because you just observe it for a moment and then you release it. And you truly know within yourself that the essence is nothing. So they cannot do anything to you. And they just disappear. Eventually, it all disappears. You don't have interference. I've shared so many things in my videos on YouTube, and you would think that, you know, I should have been attacked, but I don't believe that. So I'm not attacked. You know, they cannot reach me because I have become invisible to the game. Because once you are fully detached and you have become nothing, nothing more than that beautiful golden electromagnetic spark, your true deepest first cell, your original cell, your source, unique frequency. There's nothing they can do. You have beaten the game. You have beat the game. From my experience, you decide. You have your own experience. But I'm telling you, don't go with the panic. Don't go with the fear. Don't go with all those stories. Go with your own story. And come home to peace. And then when it's time, and the avatar, the portal, the body stops, you just let yourself fall into your first cell. And you become that nothing. You become formless. And then you take on your original form, your new form. You'll see in that moment, because because you have come home to your own source. Not a story of another. Know your own story. And for me, the element system within, that contains those 144,000 cells. And every time there are 23 element layers and 72 mineral pathways we can use. That was my way, because the elements feel to me as the purest thing, together with the animal world. The purest thing within this game. And that was my way of coming home. Oh, to my first cell. Yeah. Yeah. And everything is calm. Calm in my house, on my screen. I have very calm and chill dogs. And there are no spider beings left. There are no reptilians. And, sometimes on the collective screen I see them, I meet them, But it's just an observation. Nothing happens. Because they cannot reach me. Because I'm detached. I'm home within myself. I don't need the outside world to be at peace within myself and experience all I need within myself. So, for me, it feels like I'm repeating what I've already shared before many times. But I decided to share it anyway. Maybe as a reminder for some of you out there. Maybe it can bring some peace in these times of chaos. If you experience these times as chaos, if you still experience you are under attack, well, then you still have work to do. You're still attached to an ID entity. And yeah, just start looking at something. Go sit somewhere. Start looking at a flower, whatever. Just something on your outside screen, and just keep looking. And maybe, it's gonna take a few months before you reach that moment of fully aligned, for a second maybe. Because in the beginning, they are just moments that you are fully aligned to your first cell, your source knowing. And when that happens, you're gonna experience for yourself that what is in front of you just disappears. And then there's water. And then there's just an electromagnetic light pulse, and embedded in that light there is some kind of code. And then beyond that, there's nothing. And once you have experienced that for yourself, you know what it is, where you are in. You're in a dream. And it's up to you to detach yourself from it. And it's up to you to rewrite yourself. And start believing in yourself. Get home to trust. Yeah. Well, much love from me to you. Bye for now. Let me see.